My name is Cyril and I spend my life traveling the world, chasing monster fish.
I should let it go before a bull shark takes my leg off.
Very strong animal, as you can see.
Look at the size of this piranha.
And that's exactly what I'm doing here in Cuba. I came on a double mission to catch one of the most feared predator fish in the ocean. Lightning quake.
Something, man.
Oh!
And with a mouthful of razor-sharp teeth, the Barracuda is definitely one of the deadliest killing machines in the water and can cause some serious injuries. I've seen monster barracudas before.
You guys want to see a big cuda?
But they're true giants here in Cuba too, and I want to catch the biggest one possible. The second part of my mission is to catch another predator fish known for reaching gigantic sizes and giving an incredible fight, the tarpon.
I'm on a mission to catch a monster barracuda. You know, this fish, they are known by most people. They're actually feared by most people for being one of the most aggressive predators out there. And in a way, you know, their reputation is justified because those things, they have nasty teeth on them, about this long. They can be almost as tall as me, really, like really, really big. And at the end of a run like this, let me tell you, it's the fight of your life. And also, while I'm here, I'd love to catch myself a monster tarpon. You know, those things also, they get really, really big. You know, close to 300 pounds. They're prehistoric animals. You know, the last fight I had with a tarpon, that was in Western Africa. It was quite a fight. But first, that over there looks like a really good spot to catch a big barracuda.
I'm near the Bay of Pigs, in western Cuba, on the shores of the Caribbean Sea. The famous writer Ernest Hemingway would fish off the shores of Cuba, chasing enormous blue marlins. But the fish I'm looking for can be found pretty close to the coast and can actually be caught right from the shore. In fact, Cuba is one of the best places in the world to find the two predator fish I'm looking for. Plus, tarpon and barracuda can often be found in similar environments, along the shore and in river estuaries.
See, when you're fishing off of rocks like here, you really got to be careful because it's really dangerous. You don't want to get too close to the water's edge, even though it's pretty tempting. You want to cast as far as possible. You want to have the best presentation for your lure as possible. Stay away from especially the wet rocks. You know, they give you a pretty clear indication of where the surf is going to break and where you might be washed by a wave or knocked out by a wave because you're going to get slammed back onto the jagged rocks. It's like blades. You don't want to fall on that. Let me tell you.
A few years ago, on a deserted island off the Pacific coast of Nicaragua, I was caught off guard and knocked over by a huge wave that dragged me along some sharp rocks.
Oh my God.
The rocks here are just as dangerous, if not more. I have to be really careful. If I got hit by a wave here, it'd be really bad. But to catch properly, I don't really have a choice. I have to get close to the water.
Honestly, where does this wind come from? It came out of nowhere. You know, it was a little windy, but nothing like now. Now it just picked up like crazy.
The wind is whipping around me, making it even harder to stand on these jagged rocks. I'm casting my lure parallel to the shoreline and close to the breaking swell, because barracuda and other predator fish will hunt the easy prey that are disoriented by the crashing waves.
Yep, fish on. It's a good fish. It's a good fish. Oh, it's going through the rocks.
I don't have a choice. If I want to be able to land this big fish, I have to get closer to the edge. But it's really tough. My footing here is really bad, and again, it's not the kind of place where you want to fall.
I don't think it's a barracuda, because a barracuda would be running straight up to on the surface. That's a snapper, I think, or Cubera.
The problem is that the fish managed to get under a rock and the line is rubbing against it. Now, it's going to be almost impossible to pull it out without breaking off.
Oh. Ah! Ah! It was not a barracuda, because a barracuda would have been running straight. You know, they're not a dog fighter. They don't go down, you know, they don't bully down. They try to look for open water. They swim straight, stay on top, stay on surface. This guy was going down, but I was either a big snapper or a big Cubera, which is still a snapper, but it's another type of snapper, big Cubera Snapper. I think that's what he was.
Even if it was not a barracuda, I would have loved to catch this fish. I haven't netted 5 days in Cuba, and I'll definitely get another shot at the barracuda. But I'm on a double mission, and today I'm going for big tarpon on the Hatiguanico River, which is really close to a famous historical site. So I gotta make a quick stop.
Those are old tanks from the famous invasion, the Bay of Pigs, that took place in '61. Exactly where it took place here in Playa Huron, and then this whole area. The Bay of Pigs is right there, and that's where the battle took place. But it's also famous for big tarpon right around here, you know, in the Cienega de Zapata and Rio Hatiguanico. I've been there before, but apparently there's monster tarpon, so that's exactly where I'm headed.
I've fished this river before and caught a few tarpon, but they were just small ones. But when I recently spoke to my buddy Felipe, he told me he'd finally found a spot where the really big fish are.
Oh, Cyril.
¿Cómo estás?
¿Cómo cuenta, hermano? Muy bien.
Mucho tiempo, ¿eh?
Uf.
Y ahora entonces entra grande,
Ahora
¿no?
han entrado grandes, ¿sabes? Cuando la otra vez eran sábalos pequeños.
Sí.
Ahora son sábalos
Sí, de los
50,
que escuche.
60, 80 libras, sábalos mucho más grandes.
Entonces lo vamos a buscar.
Vamos, vamos.
My buddy Felipe hasn't changed a bit. Always super motivated when it comes to chasing big fish. The Hatiguanico River runs through one of the wildest areas of Cuba. And here we are, right in the heart of crocodile country. I'm gonna try to catch a tarpon with a bucktail jig, tied onto an 80-pound leader.
Sábalo allá, que están roleando.
This is it. This is the spot where they've been seeing and actually catching some pretty big tarpon. I always heard that this river was known for, it's actually always been known for smaller sized tarpon, baby tarpon we call them, but apparently there's monster ones as well. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, big snook. Big snook. Oh. Huge snook. Man, I'm chasing tarpon, but let me tell you, when I catch a snook this size, I'm a happy camper right there. Look at that. Grande, grande.
I think it's a snook, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But it's a nice fish.
Oh,
But it's a nice one.
big fish.
Cuidado, Cyril.
Okay.
Oh, you got it, man.
Size of this snook. Oh man. Look at the size of this snook.
It's the record of the river. It's the record of the river.
Really? You think so?
That is sure. 100% sure. That's a very big snook.
That's a huge snook. My friend Felipe, I love you, man. Right there, check this out. I was chasing a monster tarpon. Felipe says, you know, it's a good spot here for tarpon usually. Make a cast there, make one cast, and this massive thing, this massive snook comes out of underneath the mangrove trees and bang, hits my jig. It's a monster snook. It's a big snook. Let me tell you, it's my biggest snook, and it's actually Felipe's biggest snook on the river
No,
here.
that's right.
Right?
Normally 3-4 kilos, but this is 6-7 kilos.
6-7 kilos, huh?
Yeah.
Close to 15 pounds, I would say, right?
14-15 pounds, yeah.
15 pounds, yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna let that fish breathe a little bit because I want to pull it out again and show you something about it.
You know, there's one thing that you really have to be careful about when you handle snook, and especially big ones like that, you know. This part here of the gill plate sticks out, and it's a blade. It really acts as a blade. It's so sharp, you would cut your finger. For sure, it would cut the line. If the line gets wrapped around that, it'll cut it. But trying to grab the fish, you could put your fingers in underneath the gill cover here, like you can do for certain fish. But those fish, especially, it's really dangerous because of that blade here. And here underneath the fish, that fin here, it's a needle. If you get caught by that, it'll go straight through your hand. And obviously you get that spike on top, you know, like those 5 spikes actually that act as a dorsal fin. You don't want to be cut by that either. Look, I'm telling you, it's all needles. So those fish, you grab them by the mouth. They don't have teeth. That's a monster. It's all right, buddy. I'll let you go back in there, right? Back underneath your mangrove tree. Mi más grande robado de mi vida.
No, para mí también, ¿eh? Me robado así, ¿no? Gracias a ti también.
Qué bueno. Ahora un sabalo gigante.
Vamos.
I really lucked out with this beautiful snook. It's not the fish I'm looking for, but I'm so happy I caught it. Now, I just hope I'm gonna be as lucky with a tarpon. Last time I caught a tarpon, it was in West Africa.
Big tarpon.
The fish put up an incredible fight. I managed to get the big fish right to the boat, but we lost it. So I just hope to be a bit more lucky this time.
Cyril. Oh, you got one?
Yeah.
A snook. Snook, man.
That's an irregular size of the snook on the river.
Yeah, that's what you catch most of the time, huh?
It's good for compare with the other we're going to catch.
Nice fish, man. And there's not a lot of tarpon activity today on the surface because those fish, they can breathe underwater just like any fish, but they can also come up to the surface and breathe normal, regular air. They have this ability to do that, and especially when there's really low oxygen levels in the water, they have to come up to the surface. But today, you know, like there's not much happening. And the good thing is when they come to the surface to gulp air, that shows you where they are, you know, so you can lead the cast, you know, you can see where they come up to the surface, make a cast in front of them, and hopefully, you know, hook into a monster fish. So what we have to do is blind cast, we call that, and just cover some water. And hopefully, you know, we'll...
You got it? Oh, yep. It's a tarpon?
Yeah, tarpon, yeah. It's a baby one.
Okay.
All right, tarpon.
Okay. Right. Woohoo!
It's not what we want in terms of size, but it's a tarpon. At least it's the right species. Baby tarpon. There you go. Ready? Woo. All right. Baby tarpon. Oh, my God. Unbelievable, the power of this fish. I grabbed this fish by the mouth, you know, and the mouth is pretty much the only place you can grab this fish. You know, I don't really like grabbing them by the gill plate, but the inside of the mouth, look, it's like a fowl. You know, they don't have teeth per se, but it's so rough. When the fish shook its head, it got me in the knuckles here. Look, it's not the fish's blood. It's mine. So imagine this fish in 150 pounds on the boat. You know, we got a tarpon. You know, you don't want to bring them on the boat, actually. That's why, you know, we release them boat side. If we get a big fish like that, you don't want to bring it on boat because they'll destroy everything, including us. Man, they're powerful.
That's it. It's already time to head back. We have to get going since it's a long way back to the docks. It's too bad I didn't catch a big tarpon today. But catching that big snook is a good sign that I might get the monster fish I want. Third day in Cuba, and still no barracuda, nor big tarpon. But huge crabs though, redland crabs. In fact, it's hundreds and hundreds of them, migrating in order to reproduce.
Millions of years ago, there were no roads. They could go back to their woods easily, and now they get crushed on the roads. It's pretty sad. Yes, made it. Oh yes, still alive. I don't even... You hear the crushing sounds of the shells on their tires.
Poor crabs. It's a rough trip getting back to their burrows in the mangrove forest. I'm now headed to another area of Ciénaga de Zapata. I heard that it's really good for barracuda. This is a huge wetland area, and barracuda love taking advantage of these warm, shallow waters to ambush their prey.
I'm tying on a metal leader because this fish, let me tell you, this barracudas, as you know, they have nasty teeth, especially in the back here. They have sharp teeth. It's like razor blades. And if you don't have a metal leader at the end of your line, forget it. You know, they'll go right through your line and break you off, or cut you off, actually. ¿Y barracuda es grande?
Sí, grande.
¿De qué tamaño lo más grande que viste?
De un mes.
Pequeño eso.
Sí.
quiero así, ¿no?
Sí.
Se busca, sí.
A ver si quiere picar. Grandes las hay, pero son más malas para picar.
Son difíciles,
Sí.
porque ya fueron picados, ¿no?
Sí, tiene mucha experiencia. Suerte.
Gracias, amigo. Nos vemos.
Nos vemos a la noche.
Ciao.
What I really want to catch is a true monster fish. A huge barracuda like the one I saw in the South
You
Pacific.
guys want to see a big cuda?
A fish this big is pretty rare, but I know there are monsters here. But fish are not the only predators around. Crocodiles have also been seen in these marshes. I spent quite a while looking for a kayak and lost a lot of fishing time. In 3 hours, the sun will go down on these flats and my day will be over.
The barracuda, they love those channels. You see that channel, that deeper channel between two flats? That's a flat here, so it's pretty shallow areas. And between shallow areas, usually you have a channel. In barracuda, they're ambush predators. So what they do is they sit there waiting for the small bait fish, and bait fish in general, bonefish, to pass by and ambush them. Bang, and they hit them. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna giving them an easy prey.
Barracuda love to chase prey that move fast. So to fish in these shallow waters, I'm using a topwater bait that mimics the erratic movement of an injured bait fish fleeing on the surface.
I'm gonna put this lure on, a popper silver color. Yeah, usually barracuda, they react to silver like crazy. They love that color because it mimics a prey, you know, a bait fish. When they show their flanks, it's silver flashes, and anything that silver flashes, bang, that's what they go for. That's why there's a lot of accidents with a barracuda, because if you're wearing a bracelet, for example, or a watch, a silver watch on the water, and you're swimming, you know, that silver watch, when you're swimming, when you're making movements, it's gonna make some flashes in the water, and that's what barracuda react to. So they attack the bracelet thinking it's a prey, and it's actually your hand. But let me tell you, when it's a 30-pound barracuda that attacks your hand, it's gone.
I lost a bit of skin on my knuckles with the tarpon yesterday,
Baby tarpon.
and it was just a small fish. But here, I have to be really careful because while handling a barracuda, I could lose way more than just a bit of skin. Although rare, barracuda attacks on humans do happen, and the resulting wounds can be pretty severe.
Here we go. Fish on. That's a good fish. That's not a big one yet. That is not quite what we want. Nice fish. Not quite, you know, for a barracuda. It's pretty much the same thing as for the tarpon, you know. That's a baby barracuda. Just no size to it, but that just shows you how aggressive these fish are. Look at the size of the lure compared to the size of the fish. It's 1/3 of the length of that barracuda. And look at the teeth on this guy. Nasty teeth.
This first barracuda is so small, it's like a joke. But the good news is, they can only get bigger from now on.
Fish on. That's a good fish. Right. It's getting a little more interesting. Still no monster, far from it, but it's a good fish.
Second barracuda, just a little bit bigger this time. At this rate, I should find a monster out one by the end of this trip.
Here, come on, buddy. Well, I don't think I'll catch that monster barracuda today. It's too bad because they are out here for sure. There's got to be monsters here. You know, fish like this long, like 3-4 feet long. Teeth on them, like this. Although that's not the end of the trip, you know. I'm here for a few more days, so I might still get a shot at a monster barracuda. Although now I'd better rush back with that kayak because the sun is setting fast.
Fourth day in Cuba, and I'm still chasing a monster barracuda and a big tarpon.
Well, It was cool catching this barracuda and the baby tarpon, although, you know, they were not really big. You know, that's why they're called baby tarpon in a way. You know, I want size now. I want a big monster barracuda and a big tarpon. Honestly, it's doable. You know, I still have a few more days in Cuba. Should be doable. Catching monster fish now.
This morning, I'm headed to the Zaza River, which is known for its strong population of big tarpon. There, I'll meet up with Louis, who I've fished with before. It's pretty exciting to be back fishing on the Zaza River, especially since Louis was telling me that he's been seeing really big tarpons in the last few weeks.
Hola, Luis. ¿Cómo está, amigo? Tranquilo? See, the way we're fishing right now is we're trolling along these mangrove trees, and the way those trees are made is that underneath the surface, you can't really see it from here, but there's a lot of roots, and fish love that. They hide in there, it provides shelter, there's a lot of food too. So when you troll parallel to the trees, fish, what they do is they see these lures, bang, they come out, ambush them, take them, and go right back to where they belong, right to where they live, underneath the trees. So if you're not fast enough, if the captain is not fast enough steering the boat away from the structure, away from these trees, they get tangled up, and most likely you lose the fish. ¿Es bueno para pesca aquí?
Sí, aquí es muy bueno. Aquí se ha aprendido tarpon de 170 libras.
170.
Y cubera de 70 libras.
70?
Sí.
Cubera?
Cubera, sí.
Fishing stories or fisherman stories. It's always the same thing, you know. He's telling me about a 170-pound tarpon that was caught here. Monster Cubera Snapper is 70-pound actually. And a 50-pound barracuda. That's huge fish. You have no idea. That's monsters. But obviously all that stuff happens when you're not here. Oh, good fish. Stop.
Incredible.
Fish on.
Just to contradict me, I just got a huge hit.
It's a good fish. It's not a tarpon because he would have jumped already, but I don't know what it is. It's really a really good fish. This fish, the fish wrapped himself around a log on the bottom or a mangrove tree. It's stuck. I don't want to lose it because I'm telling you, it's a big fish. Under a log or something. Ah, no, it's not gonna happen twice. Ah, damn it. No, aquí está.
It really felt like the fish broke me off. But in fact, it went around a branch or a log on the bottom, which created some slack in the line. But the good thing is, the fish is still on.
Cubera bueno. That's the Cubera Snapper.
Hey, that's unreal. For a minute there, I was sure I lost this fish. And yet, it's still here. And it's a big Cubera Snapper.
Sí, coño, es bueno. Es bueno, amigo. Se dio la vuelta. Es por eso que piensa que había cortado la línea. Look at the size of this Cubera Snapper. Beautiful fish. Man, I was sure I was going to lose this fish because he got wrapped up on some mangrove trees on the bottom. Finally managed to get it out of the tree it was hung up into. Beautiful Cubera Snapper. See, now I have a fishing story for myself. Look at the fangs on that thing. Oye, qué clase de cubera. Bueno.
Muy bueno.
Gracias, amigo.
It's unbelievable. I caught some beautiful fish like that huge snook and that nice Cubera Snapper. But no big tarpon, no barracuda yet. And I only have 2 days left in Cuba. Anyway, my buddy Luis has an idea. He knows a guy who knows another guy who apparently can take me to some really good spots.
¿Son dos pescadores?
Sí, pescadores nativos de Casilda.
Para agarrar algo grande, ¿no?
Sí, exactamente.
Está bien, amigo. Bueno, salud.
All right, I have a couple of names of guys to go fishing with. The plan is to go out for tarpon later today with a guy named Nino. And tomorrow, I'm supposed to hook up with another guy, Guillermo.
Es lindo ese carro, ¿eh? ¿Hace cuántos años que trabaja ese carro?
57.
57, ¿eh? Wow. All right, let's go for that monster barracuda I've been telling you about. I'm on my way to the Trinidad Marina to meet with one of the fishermen that the guy at the bar was telling me about yesterday. I talked to the guy this morning, and apparently, you know, he's good. You know, he's been fishing here for many years, and he was telling me that this monster barracuda, they're not easy to get, they're scarce, but there's monsters. So hopefully I'll get that monster fish, monster barracuda I've been telling you about since the beginning of the trip. Hola, amigos. Hola, ¿cómo está la cosa? Hola. ¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo está el sabalo?
Siempre se puede probar.
Se puede probar, a ver si está, ¿no? Looks like the tarpon is going to be a tough one here again, you know. From what he was telling me, it rained a lot last week, and what happens when it rains is that all the dirt gets washed down to the main rivers by the smaller streams, smaller rivers and stuff. And what happens is that the main rivers, they're all dirty. And here especially, apparently from what he was telling me, that when the water is dirty, the tarpon, they shut their mouth. They don't bite, they don't eat. We can still go and give it a shot, but for now I might give myself one more shot at tarpon and then barracuda. Apparently they've been spotting some really big tarpon rolling up to the surface. That's what I was telling you the other day. They've been spotting them, not catching so many, but looks like they're here.
Nino has taken me on the Agabama River to try and catch a tarpon. The conditions are not ideal as it's rain and the water is kind of murky, but it could be one of my last chances to catch a tarpon on this trip.
Eso le gusta aquí, ¿eh? ¿Es bueno eso? A ver. It's not to justify the fact that I just got snagged, but honestly, you have to get snagged. Because the fish, they live in structures, they live under those mangrove trees and stuff, you know, so if you don't go in there, you know, you're not gonna catch. But if you go in there, you might get snagged. But in a way, if you get snagged, it's a good thing. Because that means that you're fishing in the right places.
I cast all along the mangrove trees, but no sign of any fish. So I decide to troll a little bit, to cover as much water as possible, and hopefully catch a tarpon. After all, the trolling landed me a big snapper on the last river I fished on.
Look at the size of this Cubera Snapper. As you know, it's my favorite technique, all right? Love it. I just want to be woken up.
I'm trying to stay positive and keep thinking I'm gonna catch a tarpon. But I gotta say, I'm kind of losing hope here.
Jagged. Snook. I think that's a jagged. And the way it moves. You know, a tarpon, I would know right away. Was a tarpon? Tarpon, as soon as it's hooked, pretty much it goes airborne. It jumps out of the water to try to get the hooks off its mouth. Jack Crevalle. See the grunting sound? This grunting noise that they make? It's actually a distress or warning signal that they emit to the rest of the school, because they live in schools. But I'll let you go, buddy. There's no distress here. You're going right back to your buddies. Bueno, no es el sábalo, pero por lo menos un pez.
Ahí voy ya.
It's getting late, and still no bite from a tarpon. Nino proposes a change of plan. He thinks conditions in the river are not ideal, and we should go offshore to meet up with Guillermo. He's already fishing a spot that's apparently really good for big barracuda.
Tiempo. Oh, ahí, mira, ponte a dar la vuelta por ahí, mira cómo está ahí la...
The day's coming to an end, so I make the most of it. I keep trolling while we look for Guillermo. Finally, we find Guillermo at sea. The problem is that it's getting late, and we're really far out. Plus, according to Cuban law, it's forbidden to navigate at night.
Bueno, niño, muchísimas gracias, amigo.
I don't know how we'll make it back to the harbor before dark. But anyway, Now we're all motivated to catch a barracuda. And a big one.
Chao, el niño. Bueno, hola, cosa. ¿Cómo te fue? Bien. A mí muy bien. Ya, grande, seguro. Mentiroso.
Guillermo never goes out at sea without his friend and first mate Alberto.
Here we go for that monster barracuda. I just tied on a 100-pound fluorocarbon leader.
We set up a few rods for trolling. The plan is to cover a lot of water and maximize our chances of catching a big barracuda. Speaking of barracuda, the last one Guillermo caught left him with a bad scar.
Oramos con 2 metros de altura.
2 metros, así.
2 metros de altura, un
Cabeza.
ancho de cabeza.
You know, they hooked into a barracuda while trolling. They fought it, brought it onto the boat. The thing was 22 pounds, so about this long. So the head on it was must have been about this thick. And those things, let me tell you, he was telling me that he was thrashing around. He got nailed, you know, like he knows fishing, obviously, so he got just time to actually remove his hand, but still, the barracuda got him on the finger and barely touched him. But already look at the cut. Para evitar la infección. Ahora a pescar.
A pescar ahora,
The last barracuda that Guillermo caught almost took his finger off. And now he's very nervous at the idea of bringing one on board.
Oye, Dale, yeah, pronto. Fish on. No necesito, está ahí. Es pequeño.
It's not the monster that I'm looking for, but at least it's bigger than the barracuda I caught on the flats. We barely have an hour left to fish, but with a bit of luck, I might catch a huge one.
¿Viste? Es ahí. Ah. Ahí donde está. Ahí donde está. Ahí.
Look at the teeth on this monster fish. For a fish, it's a nice fish. But for a barracuda, let me tell you, it's still a baby barracuda.
Bueno, padre, felicidades por coger el pez. ¡Coño!
Gracias, amigo. Dale un besito.
¡Ay, ay,
No, eso no es besito aquí.
¡Es un beso todo aquí en la mano de la boca! ¡Qué bueno!
He wants to keep it because that's
Ponla
our
aquí,
meal for
chico.
tonight.
Ponla.
I would have loved to release this fish, but in this case, if we're stuck at sea, it's all we have to eat.
Guillermo was telling me that it's impossible. They can't travel by night, and it's already dark, so we're gonna have to spend the night on an island nearby. I guess there's cheese over there. That's pretty cool. At least we'll have some fish to eat.
Alberto and Guillermo just spotted an island to spend the night on. Approaching a remote and deserted island, it's like we're back in the time of the pirates. Guillermo and I decide to go explore this island to see if we can find something to eat, and more importantly, to see if we can actually sleep on it somewhere. An iguana? A jutilla, which is a large rodent? What other creatures are we gonna find on this mysterious island? This mangrove island is full of life. It's not very reassuring to know that we might sleep among it all. At the least, I need to make sure there are no crocodiles or scorpions here.
Look at the size of this crab. Unbelievable. Look at the size of that thing, that claw. Unbelievable. I don't want any of these guys crawling up into my bed. Actually, this is not even a bed, you know. I barely have a blanket to sleep on the ground.
In many areas of the world, eating barracuda can give you a severe illness called ciguatera poisoning. But in this region of Cuba, the guys guarantee that the fish are safe to eat.
A la manera cubana.
These guys know how to deal with their stress. What started as a tense situation turned out to be a fun dinner.
Honestly, I had no idea that this fish would taste so good out of a can. The fish is so good, it's so tasty, they actually cooked it with rum. That's why it tastes so good. That's their recipe, Cuban recipe right there, man. I love it.
Waking up on a deserted island is pretty cool. But last night, when it came down to choosing between adventure or safety, we chose to sleep on the boat. Sleeping on the ground of a mangrove island where you're not sure what kind of creatures are around is not the smartest thing to do.
You really thought I was gonna sleep on the island? With the crabs and the whatever other animals live on there? Iguanas and stuff? Nah, I mind them, but come on. Much better off on the boat here. Guillermo!
Talking about a prehistoric animal, we got one right there. The iguana. Man, these things have been around millions of years. I don't know how old exactly, but I'm pretty sure it's not far from the Tarpon.
It's my last day in Cuba, and I have yet to see a monster barracuda. It's really time my luck changes.
Brand new, just out of the box.
I just tied on an artificial lure that mimics the movement of a bait fish swimming just below the surface, where barracuda love to hunt.
All right, let's go find that big barracuda. Woohoo! Fish on, fish on. Oh, yes, it's a good fish, it's a good fish. Woohoo! Para el motor, motor, motor.
We've been trolling for a while, and finally, we have a bite. But it's not a barracuda.
Ah, Fargo. Fargo, snapper. Fargo. Bueno, Fargo. Ah, yes. Man, that's a beautiful snapper. Those fish are so good eating. It's one of the best eating fish around here. So I think they'll want to eat this fish.
¿Cómo lo vas a hacer?
Lo devuelto?
No,
No. That's what I was telling you. Bueno.
Gracias.
Que de nada, hombre. ¿Te gusta el señuelo, ah?
Seguro.
Time is running out, but we're really far from the harbor, and we have to turn back. The guys want that big barracuda as much as I do, but Cuban law prohibits navigation at night, so we just hope that we get lucky on the way back.
Oh, yes. Oh. Es buena esta. Es buena, buena, Es buena. Another fish on the line. That's a barracuda. Un poco más grande, ¿no?
Yes. Similar.
Pon la ola, pon la ola.
Ahora, vamos, ahí.
Look how nasty these things look. Mean. Killer machine. Look at the fangs on that beast. All right, buddy. Going back.
It's still not a monster, but certainly 4 or 5 pounds bigger than the last one. The good news is, this barracuda are around, and they're on the hunt.
Qué bueno.
The sun is going down, and Guillermo lets me troll for a few more minutes on the way back to the harbor.
Ok, otro.
Otro, sí.
Oh, despacio, relate, despacio.
Fish, fish, fish. Fish on. That's a big fish. That's a big fish. That's the big barracuda we wanted. Right there. I think we got it. I hope.
I get a little bit of line back, but I can tell this fish is heavy and powerful. And the fight is not over yet.
Oh. Vamos. Despacio, despacio. Calma, calma, ahí. Despacio, ahí. Trabala, trabala. Sí, trabala ahí.
This fish is putting up a big fight, but he's getting tired and he's getting close to the boat.
Muy grande, grande. Mira cómo grande. Oh, ven acá. That is one big barracuda right there. Es grande, ¿eh?
Oh. Vamos.
Ah, tú toma la caña, lo tomo.
Dale, vamos, arriba, vamos. Arriba, vamos.
Yes. Yes. Now we're talking. That's a big cuda. That's the monster I was talking about. Look at the teeth. Look at the fangs on that thing. They got hit by something, huh?
The other.
Otro, huh?
Yes.
Otro que lo atacó, ¿no?
La atacó, Aquí.
Now imagine this thing going for your bracelet or your watch. When I was telling you that you'd lose a hand, now you know what I'm talking about, right? These fish are lightning fast, and they usually strike at full speed with that mouth full of teeth. So imagine, their prey don't stand a chance.
24 libras.
Oh, es bueno, huh? 24 pounds. Look how nasty it is down there. This is a bite mark. This thing got attacked either by a barracuda, another barracuda, or shark.
But it should be fine. It's not a deep one. Bye-bye, my friend.
Unreal. The teeth marks on the lure. The tooth there, the fang, right through the plastic. And check this out. Look at the hook. Totally bent it open. That's a strong hook. Normally I change the hooks to even stronger hooks than that, but I didn't have time. ¿Ahora lo quieres?
Muchas gracias.
Pero regalo
Sí.
lo querías, ¿no?
Claro que sí.
Está muerto, disculpa.
No importa.
No tengo otros.
No
amigo.
importa, pero que buen saco de buen pez, ¿eh?
Qué grande ese
Qué
barracuda.
grande barracuda.
Es bueno, ¿eh?
Te felicito.
Gracias, amigo. No hice nada, solo puse el señuelo en el agua.
No importa. Y pusiste el amor del corazón.
El
para
amor del
cogerlo.
corazón.
I came to Cuba to catch a big tarpon and a monster barracuda. Although I never found that big tarpon, I still had a lot of fun catching the baby one.
All right.
Plus, I was lucky enough to catch a monster snook,
Check this out.
a beautiful Cubera Snapper, and in the end, a big barracuda.
That's the monster I was talking about. Look at the teeth. Look at the fangs on that thing.
This is what fishing is all about. You just never know what you're gonna catch.
100% sure.
I love this trip, and I'll definitely come back one day.
The way to hold these things, you know, you have to grab the claws first, obviously, otherwise you get nailed. Yes, made it. Oh, look at him. Oh, yes, he's still alive.